We're on the record in cause number 328680, the state of Texas versus uh, Nicholas Sturts. Is that your full name, Nicholas Sturts?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Sturts?
I've been better, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Sturts, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Mark Faggart. Mr. Faggart, how are you doing?
I'm good, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, now, Mr. Faggart, you said this is not a plea, is that correct?
It is not, Your Honor. In what I'd like to address with the court, and Ms. Ramos and I discussed this earlier, I'm going to ask the court to set a PR bond for Mr. Sturts. He has been sitting in jail for over 30 days. He works as a pipe fitter in the refineries. He was working, he owns a home in Beaumont on Broadmoor Drive, believe it or not, Your Honor, in the neighborhood where my mom and dad have lived for many years. He needs to get out of jail so he can work and pay his house note and do the things he needs to do while bringing this case to a final disposition. Your Honor, in investigating the case, I will represent to the court that there are witnesses out there that are not local that I need to talk to. They now reside in the Austin area. And this is an interesting case, Your Honor, with a lot of twists and turns in it. And I'm going to need some time to prepare his case for trial if Ms. Ramos and I cannot get something agreeable worked out. So I'm going to request the court to give him a PR bond with the standard conditions, also a condition that he not contact his sister, who is the complaining witness in the case.
So hold on a minute. Okay. We're back on the record in cause number 328680. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Nicholas Aaron Sturts. Mr. Sturts is present via Zoom, and Mr. Sturts' attorney is also present via Zoom. His attorney is Mr. Mark Faggart. Now, Mr. Faggart, you were requesting that Mr. Sturts be given a PR bond. Is that correct?
I am, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Faggart, what does your client, Mr. Sturts, have any community ties?
He owns a home here, Your Honor, and I believe he has other relatives that live in the area. He owns a home at 3840 Broadmoor, Your Honor.
And that's in
that is 2 blocks over, 3 blocks over from where my parents' house was in our old neighborhood,
Okay,
where my
so,
parents still reside. So he's firmly entrenched in kind of the west end of Beaumont at that address.
okay, so that's in Beaumont. Okay, now, was, is, that, how long has he been in this area?
I do not know. He can answer that question for you.
Hold on, Mr. Sturts, would you please?
It's been nearly 10 years, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Sturts, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Sturts, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir, I swear.
Okay, now, Mr. Sturts, how long have you been living in Jefferson County?
It's been nearly 10 years. I purchased my house in November of 2014, but I've been in the area nearly 10 years.
So you say you purchased a house in 2014?
Yes, sir.
So that
Here in
was
Beaumont.
about 7 years?
Yes. I've been here longer, maybe around 10 years.
Okay, so you've been here in Beaumont about 10 years. You purchased a house about 7 years ago, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, so you've been in Beaumont about 10 years. Now, do you have any family that live in this area?
No, sir, I moved here to get away from most of them.
Okay, now, are you working? Well, let me do this here. Now, community ties, family ties.
I was working.
Okay, let me do this here. Now, in reference to the safety of the community and the victim, you have a criminal history?
I don't have any convictions of anything more than a misdemeanor.
Okay,
I've had some traffic tickets and uh, I've been accused of
okay,
unlawful.
I'm just asking for convictions. I'm not asking for cases that you were just charged with.
Yes, sir.
You
No
say,
convictions.
so your misdemeanor was basically class C, you say traffic tickets?
Traffic ticket is the only thing I've ever been convicted of, Your Honor.
Okay, so you don't have no class A or class B misdemeanors?
No, sir.
Okay, what about felony convictions? You have any felony convictions?
No, sir. Never.
Now, the case that's pending, which is an assault family violence case, do you have any other pending offenses?
No, sir.
Okay, so this is the only case that's pending. Okay, now, do you work?
I was before I came here. I had a job.
And where were you working?
I'm a subcontractor. I work for probably about 10 different contractors per year. So I work in a refinery, Your
Okay, so could you repeat what you're saying? The court report is trying to take down what you're saying.
I work for nearly 10 contractors per year. I'm a subcontractor. I work in oil and gas. So I did have a job. It wouldn't be too hard to find another one, but I did have a job before I came in here.
Okay, and where were you working?
I was working for a company called SWAT, SWA. Yes, sir. Specialty welding and turnaround.
How long did you work for them?
I've been with them on and off for 6 years.
6 years. And when did you stop working for them?
I stopped working for them February 18th.
Of this year?
Yes, sir. Just a few days before I was arrested.
Okay.
I
Now,
was supposed to return to work.
okay. Now you said the house on Broadmoor. Do you own that house?
I'm making mortgage payments on it.
Okay. And now, are you married?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
And does your spouse work?
No,
And do y'all get any type of governmental benefits? Like
no,
no SSI, no SNAP, no TANF?
never. No, Your
Um,
Honor.
okay, and you're not living in public housing, and you don't have no other governmental benefits, is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, what about your bills? You have to pay a rent off, you have to pay a house note?
I'm sorry that there's background noise.
Okay, do you have to pay a house note?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that per month?
I pay $1,000 a month.
Okay. What about your utilities?
Utilities are around 500 per month.
And do you have to pay any child care expenses?
No, sir.
And what about your food expenses?
I have not added it up. If I had to guess, it would be around 300 a month.
Three, okay. And do you have to, what about your transportation costs?
I have a truck I paid 1,000 a month for.
Okay.
It got repossessed while I was in here.
So you no longer have that truck? And so you don't have insurance, anything else because you no longer had a truck, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and you said that was repoed?
Uh, yes,
I mean,
about 12 days ago.
okay. And what about, you have like cell phone expenses?
Yes, I pay $100 a month for my cell phone.
100, okay. And, yeah, okay, you don't have no probation fees, any medical expenses?
No, not at this time.
Okay,
Actually, I was in a motorcycle wreck and I do need to pay the ER back. I don't know if that counts for anything.
okay, what's that bill?
It's $4,300.
For 300, okay, okay, well, that's just a bill that you owe, 4,300?
Yes, Your Honor.
And, any credit card expenses?
I have around $800 in debt and credit cards.
Okay, and how much are you paying a month on that?
45.
45, okay. Now, have you had any previous bond forfeitures?
I'm sorry, I didn't
Have you ever
understand
had
the
your
question.
bond, have you ever had a bond forfeited? Have you ever had any previous bond forfeitures?
No, no, sir.
And you do not have any other outstanding bonds other than this bond, is that correct?
Not that I know of.
And the bond currently in this case is $5,000, is that correct?
Yes, yes, sir.
Now, let me ask you, sir, do you have any bank accounts or anything, any monies in the bank?
I do have a bank account, but it is in negative, Your Honor.
Okay, and do you have any family members that you can borrow funds from?
No, sir.
Or any friends that you can borrow funds from?
No, sir.
Okay,
Rona is part of a lot of us.
okay, let's see. Now, I have a copy of the PC. I'm gonna take judicial notice of that. I'll take to look at the facts and the circumstances of this offense. And, okay, now, Ms. Ramos, do you have any questions or comments?
None for the defendant, Your Honor. The only comment I will have is that the state just wants the standard bond conditions that this court gives in an assault family case.
Okay, I'm gonna take this matter on under advisement. Okay, now, Mr. Fager, do you have anything else?
No, Your Honor, and one of the things that is in dispute is what's in the probable cause affidavit. And just for the court's history or information, the alleged victim was living in his home.
I'm gonna object to this,
He had no money.
Your Honor.
He had nowhere to go, so he took her in. She was creating problems at the house. He asked her to leave.
Your Honor.
She did not want to do so.
Mark.
Yes.
The state was, had lodged an objection, but you kept going.
Okay, never mind. Okay, what's your objection, Ash?
My objection is that you're testifying to facts that without a witness proffering the facts to the case.
Okay, I was just gonna give him a background. I understand. No problem.
Sustain that objection. Okay, do you have anything else?
Nothing further.
Okay, all right, this will conclude this bond hearing. As I said, the court will take this matter under advisement.
John,